the TNR program under Second Chance.
Okay, hear you.
Is that better? Okay. So I've been working on the TNR program with Second Chance. I moved into an area with a lot of cats, and that's kind of how I got into it. And here we are. So I prefer the term return over release because we're not really releasing them. We are returning them back to their outdoor homes, same place that we trapped them.
Where are you going? Jordan, help me. Once again.
So what is TNR? Trap, neuter, return is the humane solution for controlling outdoor populations, and it's one of the only proven methods to work. If you take cats and remove them from a location, other cats are just going to move in because the resources are there. Studies show that 1 in 3 people will feed a stray animal when they see it, so you're not going to get rid of resources very easily. We're going to talk about the benefits, common misconceptions of feline reproduction, and how we can help. There we go. Okay. So, the benefits of TNR, it reduces a lot of the problem behaviors that people run into with outdoor colonies. So there's a lot of noise making, there's a lot of screaming and fighting, spraying and marking, wandering cats going further out looking for other cats. And by neutering them and spaying them, that reduces almost all of those problems. And then the largest benefit is no more kittens are outside, so there's no more suffering. So I'm pretty sure everyone has seen images like these where one cat turns into like 2 million. That's false. We wouldn't be able to walk outside right now without tripping over cats. So yeah, they're wrong. And the biggest thing is we have to realize that 80% of cats born outside don't survive. They don't make it to 6 months old, and that's the statistic that they don't want to talk about because it's not a happy statistic. But when you look at the first chart and then the second one, you can see the ones that didn't make it to breeding age. And then that reduces how many there are, but that also means that there's a lot more suffering than people realize. And by promoting the first image, we're telling people, hey, this is a problem, but then people with colonies are like, well, mine's not growing that fast, so mine's not a problem. And that's false, because what they don't see are the ones that aren't making it. They're not seeing the ones that are passing away. They're not seeing the ones that are suffering. So the biggest thing we can do is get them fixed, no matter if it's 1, 10, 20, and prevent all the suffering from the kittens. And then the cats themselves, once they're spayed and neutered, end up way more healthy. They start playing and thriving instead of just surviving, and they're not driven purely by instincts. So what can we do? With Second Chance, if you have more than 4 cats needing TNR, I will actually come out and help with larger colonies. We will help aid with trapping, getting them in for spay and neuter. We can also help with resources if you want to do it yourself, because there's always a wait list. And then we rent traps out, they're $25 a trap, and you get that back when you return it cleaned and unbroken. We can also provide a lot of different resources on how to use different traps and how to bait them and how to work with the more picky ones. Can you just give them to a barn home? That's the question a lot of people want to ask for cats that they don't want in their area anymore, but the problem is there's not enough barn homes for how many cats there are. There's more cats than people that are outside, so there's definitely not enough barn homes. And it's also a very lengthy process to try and relocate them. It can take a few months. You have to have like a proper room with windows or a cage that is having like weatherproof shelter for them so that they can adjust to their new area. And even then, by the time you let them go, they can be scared and run off and not find the resources they're used to. This one's friendly. Can it still be taken to rescue? Yes and no. It depends on the cat. So a lot of the friendly community cats still have homes. The best thing we can do is fix them and put them back, and they'll stick closer to their home and they'll quit wandering. A lot of people don't realize that their cat is escaping or wanting outside because it wants to find a partner. So if we can neuter the cat for them and return it, they'll stay home. If it's struggling and it's having health issues and it doesn't look like it's doing well and it's friendly, we'll consider taking it into rescue. But most of the time these cats do have owners and people that love them and will take care of them. They just don't realize that neutering them prevents a lot of the wandering and the problems. I'm sure it'll love to be indoors. Can you take it? Feral cats do not like to be indoors. They will, and they have for me, they will take down your light fixtures, your curtains, they will knock everything off your counters trying to get out of windows. They don't like to be inside, and they're very hard to socialize, and it can take years, and some never will adjust. So the best thing that we can do for them is fix them and put them back where they're comfortable, and they'll live a much healthier life. And I can say that that's very true, because after I fixed the cats around my house, they were all much smaller, much more scraggly looking, and now they've gained some weight. They've been spayed and neutered, but they're healthy. I actually catch them playing with toys. I have like video cameras on my porch, and I can see them playing with things, and they're much happier. They're not just trying to survive to raise babies all the time. So that's very helpful. And then I just wanted to say one example is a colony I'm working on now. It has about 20 cats, and 17 of those were pregnant. That would have been over 40 kittens that would have been born. But we know that that colony isn't going to be 40 strong because a lot of those kittens aren't going to make it. So that's like my biggest point when it comes to TNR is it saves a lot from suffering. And then these are just some pictures. The one on the top left has what's called cauliflower ear. So ear mites causes that, and they scratch at their ears and it kind of deforms them. The second one was a kitten that was trapped and he had upper respiratory problems. That's a really big thing that you run into. The third picture is some kittens that were under a porch, and then the lower left was a bigger colony I trapped, and the lower right was another big colony I was working on. But that's all.